Welcome to another episode of Extreme Expats Stories of Thailand. Hey everyone, thanks so much for subscribing to Extreme Expat Stories of Thailand. I really appreciate all the support. If you've got your own wild or unbelievable expat story, I'd love to hear it. Send it my way and maybe it'll get featured in a future video. Just one request. Please don't send me AI-generated stories if you can avoid it. Real experiences make this channel what it is. Thanks again, and let's dive into today's story. Dear Extreme Expat Stories team, I came to Thailand chasing that digital nomad dream everyone posts on Instagram. You know the one. Laptop lifestyle, pad thai on plastic stools, beaches so blue they look photoshopped. I was sick of my Texas cubicle, sick of traffic jams that lasted longer than most movies, sick of living for 2 weeks of vacation a year while watching my soul slowly die in fluorescent lighting. My breaking point? I spent a Tuesday debugging code until 3 a.m., then got stuck in traffic for 2 hours the next morning, only to arrive at work and do the exact same thing again. I looked around my cubicle, at my motivational posters that weren't motivating anyone, at my dying plant that reflected my dying spirit, and I thought, there has to be more to life than this. Thailand seemed like paradise. Rent cheaper than my monthly Starbucks habit. People so friendly they smile at strangers. And sunshine that never quits. What could possibly go wrong? Her name was Bua, which means bird in Thai. And looking back, that should have been my first cue that she'd fly away with my money. I met her at Sapan Food night market. This incredible maze of food stalls and controlled chaos that assaults every sense in the best possible way. The air thick with the smell of grilled meat, the sound of sizzling wooks, vendors shouting prices in rapid-fire Thai. I was wandering around like a lost tourist, trying to decide between grilled squid that looked questionable or pat krapao that smelled like heaven. When I saw her, her stall had a hand-painted sign. Best mango sticky rice in Bangkok. Guaranteed or money back. You try, she said, handing me a perfect portion with coconut milk drizzled just right. Special price for you. Being the smartass I am, I gestured to the Thai guy behind me. What about him? Doesn't he get special price too? She laughed. And guys, this wasn't just any laugh. This was the kind of laugh that made you want to be funnier, smarter, more interesting just to hear it again. I know, I sound like an idiot, because I was. He not handsome like you, she said with a wink that could have powered half of Bangkok. And just like that, I was completely hooked. We talked while I ate what was legitimately the best mango sticky rice I'd ever tasted. She was studying art at university, working the stall to support her family. When I mentioned I was a software engineer, she looked at me like I'd said wizard or superhero. You very smart, she said with genuine admiration that made my ego inflate like a parade balloon. You make computer magic, yes? Like Tony Stark. I found myself explaining coding like it was the most fascinating thing in the world, just to see that look of wonder in her eyes. She asked questions that made me feel brilliant, laughed at my terrible tech jokes, and seemed genuinely impressed by my boring corporate achievements. Her little sketchbook was always with her. Always a corner of charcoal smudged on the pages, tiny buffalo doodles in the margins, and a faint smell of glue from whatever art supplies she used. Those small things made her feel more real to me than any rehearsed line ever could. I went back the next night, and the next. Before long, I wasn't going for mango sticky rice. I was going for bua. Our dates were straight out of a romantic movie. She showed me Bangkok through local eyes. Hidden temples where monks blessed us for good luck. Street food stalls where she translated menus and ordered perfect combinations. Rooftop bars where we watched sunsets paint the city gold. She never had money. Ever. Not for dinner. Not for transportation. Not for anything. "I poor student," she'd said with that heartbreaking smile. "But I rich in love for you." And like an idiot, I thought it was charming. I was the provider, the successful Western man who could take care of his beautiful Thai girlfriend. My masculinity had never felt more validated. She was obsessed with my income from day one. Not in an obvious gold digger way, but subtle questions that felt like genuine interest. "How much software engineer make in America? Must be so much money. You so successful." I ate it up. I showed off. I mentioned my salary, my savings, my investment portfolio. I thought I was impressing her with my financial stability. What I was actually doing was giving a professional con artist my complete financial profile. After 6 weeks of dating that felt like a fairy tale, Bua opened up about her family. Rice farmers in rural Buriram province, struggling to make ends meet in an economy that had forgotten small farmers existed. She showed me photos that broke my heart. Her mother, Male, cooking over an open fire. Her father with weathered hands that told stories of decades working under the brutal Thai sun, leading a massive water buffalo through flooded rice paddies. "You come see them," she said, eyes sparkling with excitement. "They want to meet my handsome American boyfriend. Papa very excited to meet man who make my daughter so happy. So like a lovesick fool completely drunk on romance and cultural adventure, I found myself on a rickety bus headed to rural Thailand, already imagining the cross-cultural love story that Hollywood movies are made of. When we arrived, her entire extended family was waiting, maybe 30 people total, all smiling and waving like I was a celebrity who'd just stepped off a private jet. Kids running around with excitement. Grandmothers pinching my cheeks. Uncles shaking my hand with enthusiasm that made me feel like the most important person in Thailand. Her tiny mother hugged me like her own son, speaking rapid Thai while tears of joy streamed down her face. Her weathered father shook my hand with surprising strength, his calloused palms telling stories of hard work and sacrifice. Then they led me to meet the star of the show, the family water buffalo. The thing was absolutely massive. 1,500 pounds of pure muscle, mud, and attitude. Horns like Viking weapons, eyes that seemed to judge my urban softness and find it wanting. Standing next to him, I felt like a child meeting their first dinosaur. "This is Somchai," Bua announced proudly, her voice filled with the kind of affection you'd use to introduce a beloved family member. "He helped family farm rice 20 years. Very important. He like, how you say, employee of the month, every month." The family laughed at her translation, and I couldn't help but smile. Under encouraging shouts from 30 Thai people all pulling out their phones to record this momentous cultural exchange, I nervously fed him grass. His tongue was like sandpaper, his breath smelled like a swamp, and his presence was oddly comforting. "He like you," Bua exclaimed, clapping her hands together with pure joy. "That very good luck. Buffalo choose you." In that moment, standing in a rice paddy feeding grass to a buffalo while everyone cheered and took photos, surrounded by genuine warmth and acceptance from people who barely knew me, I thought, this is it. I've found my real life. My girl, my family, even my buffalo. Looking back, when your life validation depends on buffalo approval, you might be making questionable life choices. But in that moment, it felt like destiny. 3 months into paradise, I was living my best life. I'd extended my stay indefinitely, set up a remote work arrangement, and was seriously considering permanent residence. My Instagram was full of sunset photos and cultural experiences that made my friends back in Texas insanely jealous. Then Bua burst through my door in tears. Not regular crying, full body sobs that triggered every protective instinct I didn't know I had. She was shaking, hyperventilating, speaking half in Thai and half in broken English through her tears. "Papa hurt," she gasped between sobs. "Very bad thing happened. Hospital. Papa in hospital." Through her tears, she explained that her father had been trampled by Somchai, the same buffalo I'd fed grass to, the same buffalo that had supposedly chosen me for good luck. A big delivery truck had come down the narrow village road, honking aggressively. Somchai panicked, reared up, and pushed her father down into the muddy paddy. Internal injuries, possible internal bleeding, needed immediate surgery or he might die. "Hospital need 100,000 baht," she sobbed, her voice breaking on every word. "My family have no money. We just farmers. Papa maybe die if no operation. Doctors say need surgery tonight or maybe too late. 100,000 baht. About 3,000 US dollars. She showed me photos on her phone. Her father in a hospital bed, looking pale and weak, connected to machines that beeped ominously. Male sitting beside him, looking aged 10 years since I'd seen her just weeks before. When your girlfriend is crying about her father possibly dying because of a buffalo accident, the same buffalo you'd bonded with, the same family that had welcomed you like a son, you don't fact check. You don't question logistics. You don't ask for medical records or hospital documentation. You just want to fix the problem and stop the tears. "Please, Jack," she begged, grabbing my hands with a desperation that felt completely real. "I know too much money, but Papa need help now. I never asked for money before, but this emergency, this life or death." Without thinking twice, I opened my banking app and transferred the money. $3,000, gone with a few mouse clicks. The transformation was instant and miraculous. Tears stopped, replaced by overwhelming gratitude that made me feel like a superhero. She kissed me, called me her hero, said her father would never forget what I'd done for their family. "You saved Papa alive," she whispered, her voice filled with reverence. "You are angel sent from heaven. My family will love you forever." And I felt incredible, like a hero, a provider, a man who could solve problems and take care of his woman. My chest swelled with pride and purpose. I was officially addicted to being needed. But apparently, the buffalo had it out for our family. 1 week later, my brother fall from mango tree. Broken leg very bad. Doctors say need surgery or he walk crooked forever. Another 1,500 US dollars. 2 weeks after that, some chai very sick. Maybe buffalo flu. Need special medicine from veterinarian in Bangkok. Very expensive medicine. Another 900 US dollars. 1 month later, mama heart problem. Need to go Bangkok hospital for test. Doctor very expensive, but only one who can help. Another $2,200. Every time, Bua cried. Every time, she begged. Every time, she swore she'd pay me back when her art business got successful, when her family had money, when things got better. And every time, I caved. It became a running joke in my head. Another buffalo-related emergency. But I didn't dare laugh out loud. These were serious family crises, and I was the hero solving them all. I was getting financially drained, but I was also getting emotionally high off of being needed, being the solution, being the successful Western man who could fix all problems with his superior earning power. The breaking point came on a rainy Thursday night that started normal and ended with my entire worldview shattered. I was working late on a client project, the kind of complex debugging that required complete focus. Bua was in the kitchen making us dinner, humming Thai pop songs while she cooked. Everything felt domestic and perfect. Then, bam, bam, bam. Not a polite knock, aggressive, demanding, official. The kind of knock that makes your blood run cold because you know it's serious. I opened the door to two Thai men in crisp police uniforms, dark sunglasses despite it being 10:30 p.m., holding official-looking badges that caught the hallway light. Immigration police, one barked in accented English, pushing past me into my condo without invitation. My blood went completely cold. Every expat's worst nightmare. Immigration problems that could end in deportation, jail time, or worse. They pushed past me into my condo, boots heavy on my hardwood floor, eyes scanning my apartment like they were looking for evidence of crimes I didn't even know I'd committed. She overstayed visa, the first officer snapped, pointing at Bua with authority that made me instantly believe him. She illegal. Big problem for you. You harboring illegal immigrant. Very serious crime in Thailand. I looked at Bua in complete confusion. She was Thai, born and raised in Thailand, spoke fluent Thai, had Thai family. She didn't need a visa in her own country. But in that panic moment, logic wasn't exactly my strong suit. Bua was crying, shaking, looking absolutely terrified in a way I'd never seen her before. She was speaking rapid Thai to the officers, her voice high and desperate, gesturing frantically. What's happening? I asked, my voice barely working. I don't understand. She's Thai. Why would she need a visa? The second officer, who had been quietly examining my expensive electronics, turned to me with what looked like sympathy. Complicated situation, he said slowly, like he was explaining something to a child. Her visa status, how you say, mixed up. Computer error make her look illegal. Very bad for both of you. But maybe we fix problem tonight, he continued, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Fine only 200,000 baht. Pay now, problem disappear. No police station, no jail, no deportation, clean record for everyone. 200,000 baht. $6,000. I looked at Bua, who was crying and begging with her eyes, her hands clasped together in prayer position. I imagined her in handcuffs, me implicated in harboring an illegal immigrant, both of us in Thai jail cells trying to explain a situation I didn't even understand. So I did it, right there, 10:30 p.m. on a rainy Thursday night. I opened my banking app with shaking hands and transferred $6,000 to their account. The officers nodded, checked their phones to confirm the transfer, and disappeared into the rainy Bangkok night as quickly as they'd appeared. Problem fixed, one said at the door. You good boyfriend, she very lucky girl. Bua collapsed in my arms, sobbing with relief that felt completely genuine. You saved my life. I love you so much. I don't know what I'd do without you. I held her while she cried, feeling like I'd just navigated a major crisis successfully. I was her protector, her hero, the man who could handle anything life threw at us. I had no idea I'd just been robbed by the people I loved most. The next morning, I woke up to absolute silence. The kind of silence that immediately feels wrong. When music stops playing and you realize something important is missing. The bed was cold, not just empty. Cold, like no one had been there for hours. I called out, Bua? Babe? Nothing. The bathroom was empty. Her toothbrush gone. Her makeup scattered across my counter for months. Gone. The closet that had slowly filled with her clothes over our months together was completely bare. Not even a forgotten sock or hair tie. Even her scraggly orange cat, seemed to stare at me like it knew I'd been played. I called her phone. The number you have dialed is not in service. Her social media accounts, all deactivated. Her Line account, deleted. Her Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Gone like she'd never existed. No note, no goodbye, no explanation. Just absence and the horrible, creeping realization that everything I'd believed about the last 6 months might have been an elaborate lie. I sat on my couch, staring at the empty spaces where her life had been integrated with mine, trying to process what had happened. The silence was deafening. Total damage assessment, $12,000. Gone. My heart, completely crushed. My pride, absolutely obliterated. My ability to trust my own judgment, seriously damaged. I wandered Bangkok in a complete daze for 3 days, barely eating, unable to focus on work, questioning every interaction I'd had with Bua. Was any of it real? Did she ever actually care about me? How long had this been planned? Finally, I ended up at Cheap Charlie's, a bar where older expats hung out, the kind of place where people went to drink away their Thailand mistakes and share war stories about the country that had broken them. I needed to talk to someone who might understand what I was going through. I told them my story, meeting Bua at the fruit stall, the family visits, the endless emergencies, the fake police, the mysterious disappearance. I expected sympathy, maybe some advice on how to track her down or get my money back. Instead, they laughed. Not meanly, but with the kind of recognition you see in people who've lived through the exact same experience. Son, an Australian guy named Dave said, shaking his head with amused sympathy, those weren't immigration officers. Those were her cousins in cheap uniforms from the costume shop at Chatuchak Weekend Market. Buffalo Emergency, a British expat named Colin chimed in. raising his beer in mock salute. Let me guess, trampled by the family buffalo during a truck incident? Sick brother fall from the tree? Added an American guy whose beer gut suggested he'd been in Thailand for a while. Broken leg needed surgery, or he'd walk crooked forever? I stared at them in growing horror. How do you know? Because we've all heard this exact same story, Dave explained patiently. Different girls, same script. The buffalo, the sick relatives, the fake cops. It's like there's a scammer school somewhere teaching this stuff. Colin pulled out his phone and showed me a Facebook group. Bangkok Scam Survivors. Over 2,000 members, all sharing nearly identical stories. Your girl Bua, he continued. She's got a reputation. Professional romance scammer. Been running this exact con for at least 5 years that we know of. The fruit stall belongs to her aunt, who's in on it. The family is real, but they're all part of the operation. The warm welcome, the feast, the buffalo introduction. Pure theater designed to make Marks feel like family before the money requests start. He showed me photos other men had posted. The same woman, the same family, the same buffalo, the same story. Different Western men, but identical cons. All the emergencies were fake, Dave explained. Her father's fine. Brother never fell from any tree. Buffalo's healthy as a horse. Mother's heart works perfectly. They've got a whole network. Fake hospitals, fake police, fake everything. And the immigration police? I asked, though I already knew the answer. Classic finale, the American guy said. Probably rented those uniforms for 500 baht each from the costume market. The badges were toy police badges. The whole thing was street theater, and you paid premium prices for the show. I was apparently one of maybe 15 Western men who'd fallen for Bua's exact same romantic fraud over the years. Some had lost hundreds, others their entire life savings. I was a middle range at 12 grand total. Don't feel too bad, Colin said, seeing my devastated expression. She's professional grade. The crying on cue. The family integration. The gradual escalation of emergencies. The fake crisis finale. It's sophisticated psychological manipulation that preys on everything good about Western men wanting to help. Apparently, I'd just graduated from Thailand's most expensive university, the School of Hard Knocks and Romance Scams, with a major in Buffalo Emergency Management. So here I am, back in Texas, typing from my childhood bedroom at my parents' house like a 33-year-old teenager, trying to rebuild my bank account, my pride, and my faith in humanity. My friends call me Buffalo Jack now. They think it's hilarious. They send buffalo memes at least 3 times a week. My phone notification sound is a buffalo grunt. My best friend changed it, and I haven't had the heart to change it back because, honestly, it's kind of perfect. My dating profile on every app now gets messages like, "Hey, any buffalo emergencies lately?" Or, "Please don't ask me to pay for your family's medical bills." The worst part isn't even the money. Although $12,000 hurt when you're trying to rebuild your life. It's the trust issues that followed me home. Every interaction now comes with a suspicious voice in my head asking, what's the angle here? What do they really want? Is this genuine or performance? I went on a date last month with a perfectly nice woman from Austin. When she mentioned her grandmother was in the hospital, I immediately thought, here we go again. When she paid for her own coffee, I was genuinely shocked. When she didn't ask about my job or income, I was confused. It's going to take time to learn to trust my judgment again. So here's the thing that might surprise you. I refuse to let one professional scammer ruin Thailand for me. The country is still beautiful. The culture is still amazing. The food's still incredible. And most people are genuinely kind and honest. I learned to separate the scammer from the country that gave her opportunity. Here's what nobody saw coming. I'm planning to return to Thailand next month. Not to find Bua. I wouldn't recognize her real name if I heard it. And honestly, I hope I never see her again. Not for revenge or closure or any dramatic confrontation. I'm going back because I refuse to let one scammer ruin an entire country for me. The real Thailand, the incredible food, the rich culture, the spiritual energy, the natural beauty, the genuine warm people. All of this is still there, waiting. My friends think I've completely lost my mind. Buffalo Jack's going back to Buffalo Land, they joke. What's she going to scam you for this time? A sick elephant? But sometimes you have to face your fears and failures to overcome them. Thailand didn't scam me. Bua did. The country is still beautiful. The opportunities are still real. And most people are still honest. I just need to be infinitely smarter about which ones I trust with my heart and my wallet. This time, I'm going with boundaries, wisdom, and a much healthier skepticism. I'm also going with contacts. Those expats from Cheap Charlie's who've agreed to be my Thailand advisory board. People who can spot scams from across the street and aren't afraid to call them out. I'm going to enjoy the real Thailand this time, not the fantasy version designed to separate me from my money. If you made it this far reading my story, thank you for watching my expensive education and romance fraud and cultural reality checks. If you're planning your own Thailand adventure, please learn from my mistakes instead of making your own. Thailand really is amazing. Incredible culture, delicious food, stunning landscapes, spiritual experiences, and mostly wonderful, honest people. Don't let my story scare you away from one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Just be infinitely smarter than Buffalo Jack ever was.